Right, team. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. I think we're talking about 52, 53 episodes in. Um, I'm going to address something that I've had a question from loads of athletes recently, bloody loads of them, and it's all about rest periods between sets. It's a bit of a loaded gun, simply because I can't really do the answer justice or do the question justice by answering it in a couple words or couple sentences. Hence why I'm going to bang on here and just chat some things over. So rest periods between sets, team. It completely depends on your goal. Completely depends on what you're doing. Completely depends on your time parameter. Completely depends on a lot of things, really. So first off, we'll go for we're coming out of lockdown, or most countries are coming out of lockdown now. We're starting to think about it. We'll have the goal of losing some weight. I'm gonna predict, simply because what do they call it, the lockdown five or something daft. Like, obviously you're not been moving as much. You're locked inside. Can't have weights, etc. etc. Um, so if your goal is to lose weight, I'm pretty sure most people aren't gonna want to spend all the time in the gym. They don't want to spend 2.5 hours within the gym to get their stuff done. So I always say between 60 to 90 minutes is quite sustainable. You can always find 60 to 90 minutes to get into the gym. So a good 1 to 2 minutes rest is always good between sets. And then it depends on what you're actually doing. So say for example, we have a program. We've done the dynamic warm up. They've done the pulse raise. They've done the dynamic warm up and all that sort of stuff. We don't really need to rest in between any of that, unless you are starting from the bottom and you are pretty unfit, which is fine, by the way. Um, if you go towards the strength portion, then you're going to rest a little bit longer, and then when you get to a quote unquote workout or a WOD, then if there's factored in rest, you would rest a short amount. If not, you would just go all the way through. But we'll just talk about the bog standard commercial bodybuilding sort of. I'm going to come in, do some sort of exercises, whether it's machines, free weights, or body weight, it doesn't really matter, and then go home. So we'll talk about that. I'd say a minute, especially if you want to lose some weight. You want to keep that heart rate elevated. It's going to keep your body under a little bit of stress, and just move through a little bit quicker. Yes, that minute is not going to do too much. Your heart rate will decrease a little bit. Yes, you will recover a little bit. But if the load isn't too heavy or the movement isn't too taxing, after a minute you should be okay. You should be okay to start cracking on again. And then, rest 2, 3 minutes between exercises. And that's usually you packing away what you've already used, giving it a little spray down, walking over to the next thing, warming up through the movement, adding 2 to 3 warm up sets, which is practically no weight, if not no weight at all, and then starting the working set again after 2 to 3 minutes. And that, to me, a minute and a half maybe, if you don't feel that good, 2 minutes even if you don't feel that good, is is ideal when you're just coming in doing a full body, not too heavy, not too taxing, not too intense, not too mental, and you just want to get in, get out. Minute to 2 minutes is spot on. Now, however, I also have a lot of athletes that want to get stronger, which is absolutely wicked. But then they also come up to me. I was like, oh, should I go again? And I'm like, mate, all you've done is changed your weight. You've rested 20 seconds. You're not going to be able to pick that weight up, and it's not going to feel the same. You're going to feel like dog shit. So no, calm down. Like, when you're strength training, when you're going for maximal load, even when you're going for power and explosion, um, all these things, like, you need to be resting. You need to be resting a good 3 minutes, 3 to 5, sometimes up to 10. You know, you might have seen documentaries on Eddie Hall or other strongmen, Brian Shaw, Big Zed, and they can rest up to 10 minutes. Like, you're doing maximal load of a strongman movement, like fucking hell, you're not going to be doing it in a workout when your heart rate's high. Granted, you would do in a competition, but this is training. Like, no wonder they train for 4 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours. It's because they're resting as much as they need. Now, what is that actually going to do? It's going to help replenish something called ATP stores, which is just a fast energy source, what we use for muscle contraction, what we use for energy. It's just how I help replenish that. Also, psychologically, say for example you're doing heavy squats, heavy deadlifts, heavy bench press even, so the big three movements, or even heavy strict press, so I'll smack in that one for a fourth. Or if you're weightlifting, you're doing a snatch and a clean and jerk, like, you need to hype yourself up, right, for a big set, for a big weight. You smash that weight out, then you need to recover from that set, right? So you sit down, you walk around, do whatever you need to recover. I get athletes to sit down and I sit down myself. So say for example, you've sat down, you took my advice, you've sat your ass down. Now you need to recover. You need to bring the heart rate back down. You need to calm yourself back down. You need to switch off, basically. Like if you, it's like I give it the analogy of flicking on the light switch and then flicking it back off. Like you only have so much go in a day, and if you flick your light switch on and keep it elevated for the whole session, you'll get to like halfway through, if that, and you'll start crashing. So flick it on when you're going for a set. Get fucking mean, angry, aggressive, go to a dark place, whatever you need to do, and then flick it off. Calm down, relax, recover, chill out, think about other things, clear your mind, meditate, chat some shit, whatever's going to work for you. And then when you go in towards another set, then start hyping yourself back up again, then start going to that place mentally, then start thinking about those things, and then you start revving yourself back up, whether that's with music, whether that's someone bitch slapping you, whether that's you chat a bit more aggressive shit with your training partner or your mate, whether that's you go to a dark place mentally and you start thinking about things, or whatever it is that works, whatever you use as a tool for your training. And that's not, all that process is not going to be done within a minute. Like that just won't happen. It can take 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, 10 minutes. As long as you're not getting cold and getting stiff, obviously that's counterproductive. Then rest. I will go on for another topic of like beginner strength. And beginner strength, I just put people usually on a 5x5. 5x5, you can't really go wrong. You're getting used to the movements, so you're creating those neurological pathways. You're also greasing the groove. You're probably gaining a little bit more mobility. That's tarring everyone with the same brush. I do apologise if you've come from like a mobile background or a mobile sport, then you're probably not going to gain a bit of mobility. You'll just be gaining a bit of proprioception, maybe a bit of balance, coordination. And yeah, you'll be developing a little bit of strength, but not massive amounts until we start progressing a little bit further and we've greased the groove. Our body actually knows those movement patterns now, and it's like, right, okay, cool. Now we're recruiting a little bit more muscle fibers, and now we're getting a little bit stronger. And yeah, like a 5x5, you want to rest 2 to 3 minutes. And I tell you what, like if I program someone a 5x5 on whatever, the big 3 or the big 4, and I said rest 2 to 3 minutes, and they weren't ready, and their heart rate was still jacked after 3 minutes, or they just did not feel good after 3 minutes, then I'll be like, rest another minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, doesn't fucking matter. Like, at the end of the day, this is the foundational work, and if you're not ready, you should not be going underneath a heavy barbell or putting your hands on a heavy barbell or lifting it off or whatever the movement requires. You shouldn't be going for that if you're not ready to do so. Granted, if you're in a workout, it's different. If you're in competition, it's different. If you're, might be in a CrossFit workout, it'll be different. But having said that, if it is a heavy load and you're in the middle of a CrossFit workout and your heart rate's through the roof and you're stressed to balls, are you just going to put your hands on and grip and rip and hope for the best? No. You're going to take a little bit more time. You're going to go get some chalk. You're going to probably brush the sweat off your eyes. You're going to breathe. You're going to compose yourself. And if you still feel like shit, you're going to rest a little bit more, because at the end of the day, don't put your spine on the line. It's not worth it. Like, you might see, deviances in technique during competition, but you're going to see that everywhere. You'll see that in the swimming pool and World Championships at the last 50 metres of an 800 metre race. Is it the best technique that they could possibly do? No. But is it working at that time? Well, yeah. Like, because they're fatigued out of their fucking mind. So I wouldn't read into that, especially if you are new to that whole scene, and just be like tiring that with the same brushes, and all CrossFit is sort of bad. Again, I've gone on a bit of a tangent there, team, but it's not, I'm biased because obviously I coach it, but it all depends on the mindset of the athlete, the coaches, the workout, their previous history, what they're actually doing, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, team. So rest periods between sets completely depends on 1, what you're doing, 2, your goals, 3, your time parameter, and 4, your preference. To be honest, like, some people do like spending a lot of time in the gym, and there are times, mine will fluctuate. Sometimes I like being in and out in an hour, and I give myself that time, and I have one of the best workouts possible. And then other times I have an absolutely banging workout, and I've been in there 2.5, 3 hours, and that's only because I've been bullshitting around, dicking around between sets. And then between exercises, I've rested like 10 to 15 minutes, and I've got some like sugar on board and water and that. Like, it's not ideal, no, but if you've got the time and you like training like that, then cool, you can do it. It's like, I've been in the gym for 3 hours. You've not been working out for 3 hours. You've probably been working out for an hour. You know what I mean? But with all the resting and the warming up and all that. So don't be scared off by, I need to be out by an hour. But also don't think you need to stay in there longer than you need to. Like, productivity is different to the time parameter you spend within the gym. Completely fucking different. Like, how many times you walk around, you see someone sat down like on the phone and blah blah blah. Yeah, granted, I've been guilty of it, and I'll be doing a bit of business or catching up with some people while I'm working out, etc., etc. But I always put in my mind, like, every time I start a new exercise, I have to do the first set before I open the phone. And just these little things where I get more things done quicker. And it's usually on days where I'm only doing like accessory stuff. So the heart rate's not that high, the intensity's not that high anyway. But yeah, team, don't fall into the trap of the time spent in the gym equals your productivity. Time spent in the gym equals what results you're going to get. Because at the end of the day, buying a gym membership and turning up to the gym won't get you where you want to be. Putting in the hard work and the hard graft and the fucking grueling work over time will get you there. Buying the membership, turning up, does not. Right, team, hopefully you've enjoyed that episode. A little bit of more of an elaboration on rest periods between sets. Like I said, I've had loads of athletes ask me over the past, I'd say a month, close to a month, maybe about 3 weeks. And I don't know, I've been thinking about it and trying to bring it into a concise little answer, and I could kind of do it, kind of not. And I just thought I can elaborate a little bit more on this platform, and then if they want to listen to that again, so they listen to my voice twice, you unlucky bastards, then that'll be sick. If not, it's obviously going to help all you team too. Right, that is me done. I'm not going to blabble on it anymore. Right, team, have a absolutely banging day, and crush your workouts. Peace and love.